Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we are going to make a simple pair of earrings. Now these are going to be smaller earrings because not everybody likes really big dangly earrings. So we're going to make 3 pair of earrings, and possibly if we have time, maybe a 4th pair. But right now we're going to concentrate on these 3 first ones. And most of these items that we're going to use were out of my haul that I got from Bead Box Bargains and yesterday. And actually, the rest, I think the rest of them, other than spacers, were also, which is mainly just this pearl, were also from Bead Box Bargains. So let's turn down and I'll show you what I'm going to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the pearl piece here. We're going to open up one of the ends, put on our little tiny pendant piece, and then we're going to jump ring it onto our ear stud. So we'll just open up one, discover which side is got the opening in it. Looks like it's this side. Open it up, put our little piece on here carefully because it actually wants to be open just a little bit more, it looks like. So we will do that. Get our little pendant piece to slide on. There we go. And then we're going to close our jump ring back up, or ring back up, or our loop. So that's closed up. Now it's hanging here like so. And then we're going to take our jump ring. Now I'm using a jump ring on this portion because I'm going to probably be selling these earrings. And if whoever purchases them doesn't like this little ear stud, then we're going to need to switch it. So we're going to just put this baby onto here and close it up. And then we're going to see how it's hanging, because it might mean that we need to turn our upper loop just a little bit. Let's see. So we want this over here. So we do need to turn our other upper loop. Need to turn it so it's going this direction. So we want it to go the opposite direction of the one at the bottom. So there is our first one done. We'll put our earring back on. Now these posts did not come with earring backs. I got them out of my stash. So there is earring number 1, and now we do the exact same thing over here on earring 2. I have already put its crystal on, our little pendant piece on, and we're going to move this just a little bit so it is side to side, the opposite side like these are, and then we're going to get the jump ring and put our post on. So we'll go through and then we got to make sure that we are putting this stud on so that it's going to be facing the proper direction. So pay attention to that when you go to put it together. Now this one didn't quite close, and I want it to close because the connector on the little guy, or the stud, is very thin. So we need this to be closed all the way. So there we go, and now it's hanging properly, and we will put our earring back on the back, and there we go. There's our first pair of earrings, little purple guys. Aren't those pretty? Yes, it's hanging right. For a second there, it looked like it wasn't. So I really like those. Those are really pretty. If I had liked a small pair of earrings, those would be perfect. But I'm a large dangle pair of earrings. So the next one we're going to make is this one. Now I got to tell you that this particular pair is going to be very simple to make, but it's going to be, it's going to cost quite a bit because the components are quite expensive. These are all, well, they're not really all that expensive, but once you put them all together, then they add up. So these are, you know, all from these are all from Bargain Bead Box, and we're going to put these with our little star at the bottom. This post, isn't that pretty post, is going to go on the top, and then we're going to put these marquees between, like so. And to do these, we're just going to put them on jump rings. So this is how we're going to put together this second pair. Very simple. The stars at the bottom with our little marquee cut with our orange topaz like, and then we're going to use these really cute little ear studs for the top. And we're just going to use these little 4mm, or tinky tots as we call them, oval jump rings to put these together. So this one, extremely simple. So open up your first jump ring. Go through your piece here and then your second piece. Close it up. Make sure it's closed all the way. We're working with little pieces here. And then we're going to take our second jump ring, open it up, and because these are going the same directions, the loops, we do not need a second jump ring up here. Now, if they were going in opposite directions, as is frequently the case with like ear wires, rather than studs, we could not do that. Come on, baby, let me get hold of you. Now we'll close this baby up. And this first earring, I'll put a backer on it. Oops, flew away. Gotta get that.
Hi, Rory.
And then this first one of these two. Come on, baby, go on. Why are you not going on? Okay, there it goes. This first one is finished. Now we just have to hook the second one together, and we'll have our second pair of earrings done. So we'll just open this baby up, put her on here, close this one, now we'll get our second jump ring open. Well, if we can hold on to it, we will. Put it through this link. These are such pretty links. And then onto our ear post. Like I said, being careful that we make sure that it's going front so that it faces to the front. The earring does when we get it finished. There we go. Let's pick it up. See if it is facing the proper direction. It is. So we'll get the second earring back out for this one. Put it on. Now these came with no backs. I got the backs for them. I like these particular type of backs. Uh-oh, it looks like I bent the post. That's not good. Well, let's see if we can straighten that up. There we go. Oops, come on, baby. Let your star fall down properly. Now, since I did bend that post a little bit, I did take my flat nose pliers and bent the bar back in place. These are a little stiff on here. Obviously, these posts are slightly bigger than some others. Yes, they are. So there is our second pair of very simple little earrings. So let's make this third pair. You get out of the way, pretty purple ones. So delicate, aren't they? So there we go. Now the third pair here is going to be a little bit different. So let's let's get those started. So this is our third pair. And this is going to go on some regular little ball head pins. We're going to straighten those up a bit. This one's a bit crooked. That's better. And what we're going to do at the bottom of these is we're going to do what I call a stacked bead cap. I mean a stacked bead spacer set. And we're going to start with this tiny guy, go up to the more medium-sized one, and then we're going to go to this big one. And we're doing that because we want this flower piece, it's a flat flower piece, to sit on that stacker stake. Isn't that pretty like that? Then we're going to take a medium one here, and we're going to get one of these triangular crystals. Now, depending on how they sit, it looks like it's inverted, but it's not. Then we're going to put this tiny one on here. We're going to bend this baby over, and we're going to do a wrapped loop. So we'll do the same with this one. So we'll start with the tiny one, medium one, large one. Then our flower, bing, then the medium, our crystal, and the tiny. And then we'll bend this guy over. So then we're going to make wrapped loops up at the top here. Then we're going to take a small jump ring and we're going to hook it right onto our pretty earring back. So let's get started. We need to do our wrapped loop. So we'll put this guy in here, and we're just going to bring her around and drop it down and bring it a rope over. Now I'm not going to leave a gap because we're going to jump ring this onto our ear wire. So up and over and around. Bring her down and over, and this is a little crooked, so we're going to try and straighten it right now. And there we go. So now we're going to wrap these up, and then we'll get a couple of Tinky Tots and hook it on. So we're going to hold this baby here, take our second pair of pliers, unless you prefer to use your fingers, and then we're going to wrap this baby up. Now we got to be careful while we're tucking this and wrapping it in, because these are crystals up here at the top, and we don't want to break our little crystal. Oops, didn't quite get a good enough hold on that to cut it, so we'll do that again. There we go. And now we're going to tuck this baby in. There we go. There's our first one all that wrapped up, and we're going to wrap our second one now. trim the excess wire off and tuck it in. So there is our second one. Now we just need to get a couple of tinky tops. These are 4mm oval jump rings. Just need 2. I'm going to open these guys up. Had another jump ring fall out. I'll have to put that away. Put this on our back here and then on our post. Now these do not have a definite front and back like our last pair, so we don't have to worry so much about, is it going to the front, is it going to the back? It's going to go whatever way it wants to. Now again, we want to keep this good and closed, because make sure it's closed good, because that is a thin piece of steel right there that this is hooking onto. So now the second, through our loop, through our pretty little ear stud, and close this baby up. Now that's open a little bit, so we want to use slight forward pressure and go forward till we hear it scrape or feel it, whichever, if you hear or feel things better. So there is our third pair of really simple little earrings. Aren't those pretty? So this one, we now have some earring backs for these. So I will put these on. That is, I think that's very lovely. So that's pair number 3. So aren't those pretty? So now we're going to work on this fourth pair that I said we might make. 1, 2, 3, and number 4 is these items down here. We've got a couple of little ball head pins. We've got some little crystals. We've got some like little inverted teardrops for our posts, some chain, some jump rings, and this pretty little pendant piece. Now you could put this as a delicate little pendant, and I think I might have another one, and if I do, I will put it on a delicate little pendant, so just so we have something to match. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these crystals onto a head pin here, and we're going to take these 2 chains. They're going to need to be cut in half, but what I'm going to do is this is going to hook to here, and then down here on the other side here, and then this little crystal is going to hang in the middle. And now I'm going to get a couple more links of chain to put this on, because we do want it to hang down like that. So we're going to get a couple more links of chain to do that. These are going to just be a really pretty little dangle, and I am going to hook these directly to the chain. So like I said, we will get some more chain out, probably just 3 or 4 links. Let's see about how much I want it to be. You're going to sit here. Your chain, this chain will help me decide. 1, 2, I think 4 links. So 2 little pieces of 4 links each. That's all we need. And so we'll do our 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll cut it here. Might cut it at 5 just to have a little bit of extra, and then if I decide that that's too long, 1, 2, 3, 4, then we can always remove a link. Now it will be longer than what this looks like because, come on baby, because we of course have to have a jump ring up at the top to hold it in place. So I think that was the link that I cut. It didn't come off. No, it's down here. So now 5 links. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to cut it right here. Now, I will tell you that this earring is probably going to be the hardest of the 3. Remember, these were just putting it together with nothing, because the pieces were already there. We just had to jump ring them together. Same with here. We just had to open this link up and put it in and then jump ring it on here. This was the next most difficult because we did do a ball head pin, put the beads on and wrap them up and then jump ring them. This one is going to be a little more intricate because what we're going to do is we're going to wrap up this crystal. Then we're going to take these tiny jump rings, 1, 2, and we're going to jump ring it, the chains down here at the end. Then we're going to take this medium jump ring and we're going to put the chains and including this chain through it, and then we'll have to have another little one. I didn't think about that, but we will have to have one more little one to bring it onto our post. So we'll get one more little one out, 2 technically, 1 for each one. And then we're going to, first thing we want to do is do these little wraps here on our little crystals. So up and over and around, bring it down and around, leave a gap, and then we'll feed on our 5 link piece of chain here. Then we're going to wrap it up. Grab hold here and just wrap our crystal up. And tuck it in. Now we'll do the same with the second. So there's this piece. It's going to hang right in the middle here. And we will have to cut this chain in half. Now, I say that because sometimes they'll want to do the if you just leave it as a whole chain. So we don't want it to do that. So we're going to have to cut that longer chain in half so it will hang properly on the on our wires. So putting this chain on here and wiring it closed. Slid a little bit, so I'm going to push it up. Then we will get back to wrapping it. And trim it off. And tuck it in. Now we may need a larger jump ring when we put everything together because of we're putting so many pieces into here. So now the next step is to cut these chains in half. So what we're going to do that is we're going to take our awl, we're going to put our first chain in, bring it all the way around and put the second one in. And then we'll drop it down here. And it looks like they are it ends up being the same length instead of having one extra one, which is a pity because that means I have to cut 2 links off instead of just one. They have to be the same length for this. So okay, oops. So now we have to do the other one. Okay, now we have our chains already, and we just have to start putting it together. Now, the first thing we want to do to put them together is to open up one of these teeny jump rings and put a chain on either side of our, well, they call them a pendant piece. I think they're just a really beautiful little bar. So we open this baby up, put it through one of our links here, and then grab one of the chains and put it on the end. Then we'll just close this baby up. Now we're going to do the same on the other side. Grab one of these, open it. Now these ones I think are going to end up being a little longer because of the length of chain I cut than our other earrings over here. And then we'll put this chain on here and close our link or our jump ring. Now we have our 2 chains hanging, going upwards. So they're going to go like so. And then this baby is going to go in the middle, like that. Now let's see if this one is going to be big enough to do this, or if we're going to have to switch to a bigger jump ring. And one of the problems with if we have to switch to a bigger jump ring may be that, that this chain has too small of links. So put it in this one. Now we're going to get our little guy here, put it in here, and then we're going to bring this guy back up and carefully put him in and make sure they're not twisted up. They don't appear to be. Then we're going to close this guy up, and there he sits. Now the next step so we can finish this is simply to take this little jump ring, and I've got one of my hairs in my cane loop. Lost it and it's in my face. So we open this guy up. He goes on this jump ring, and then he goes on to our teardrop pin ear stud. Got to make sure he's going on the right way because you don't want him to be backwards. We close him up. Now let's see if we got him going the right way. Yes, we do. And everything looks good. So there is the first of our 4th pair right here. Now we just have to put the other one together and it'll be all done. Now I could have made this a little longer, our drop. I'm glad I kept the 5 because it could have gone down a little lower and would have been fine, but the 5 is all right. So we need to take our little tinky guys here, open one up, put one here, and That hair is still in my way. Grab one of our chain pieces, put it on, and close it up. Now the other side. Remember to watch where that opening is. I tried to open one backwards the other day, and it mangles them something fierce when you do that. Other chain. Close it up. Now we have our 2 chains hanging down. Now we're going to take our medium one here, open it, go through chain number 1, now our dangle. Now if you wanted your dangle to go a little longer and realized, oh, it's not as long as I'd like it to be, you can always add some little jump rings in here to add some more length. So close this baby up, and then we'll take this other little jump ring and open it. Go in here, and then check to make sure which way's front and back, and then put our ear stud on. Close her up. Oop. Didn't mean to flip it. Didn't get that quite closed. So we want to make sure it's closed. Same with this bottom one. It looks like it's a little open too. There we go. There's our second one. So there is our 4 pair of relatively simple, not really long earrings. In fact, let's measure and see how long each pair actually is. So we'll get our tape measure out here, and this little pair with the chains is from ear stud to the bottom a little over 2 inches. So like I say, that's the longest one. You could make it shorter by just simply making your chains shorter. They don't have to be this particular length. I just preferred the way it looked with the longer piece there. Then these little guys are just barely over an inch. Not even an 1.25 inches, but very, very close to 1.25 inches. These ones are probably going to be about 1.5 inches to 2 inches because they do have multiple pieces. Looks like they're a tiny bit over 1.5 inches, maybe more like 1.75 inches. And lastly, we have this pair, which is pretty darn short when it comes right down to it, but it's very pretty. It's going to be about 1 inch. So, like I said, much smaller than my normal, but oh, such pretty, delicate little earrings for our 4 earrings set. So there we go. There's our 4 pair of relatively simple to make, pretty little elegant earrings using multiple pieces from Bead Box Bargains. Now this is the longest one, the chain. See, it's not that long, but it's still longer than my normal. And next is, this was our last pair, so pair number 4. This one was pair number 3. See, not long at all, but very, very pretty. Isn't it pretty? This was the second pair we made. Very simple. All we had to do was hook things together. So there is number. That was the second pair we made, and the first pair we made are these little beauties with the pearls. And as you can see, they're quite short, but quite pretty. So there are our 4 pair of earrings. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and I hope you enjoyed making these with me. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.